What's good, everybody? This is No Huddle. No timeouts, no safe takes, no excuses. This show is built for NFL fans of all 32 teams, contenders, pretenders, rebuilds, and straight up chaos. If your team is hot, we want to talk about it. If your team is broken, we're really going to talk about it. You don't have to agree, just have to keep it real. Let's get into it. Welcome in, everybody. Friday night, No Huddle is now here, finally. The premiere show, or the premiere episode of the No Huddle, which is open to all 32 NFL fans. It's not necessarily a Raiders show. Yes, I'm wearing Raider colors. I am 401 Raider Jeff, known for my Raider football content, but I'm branching out. We're reaching out to all fans of NFL teams. Any one of the 32 teams out there that want to come in and talk their team, I will put the link up when someone asks for it. If they want to come in and talk about their team, we'll talk about the good, the bad, the ugly of your team. We've done enough of that with Raider Nation this past year. So it's time to get the fans involved from other teams in the NFL. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from the fans of the other 31 teams in the NFL. And we want to talk football. We want to talk about your team and what you think your team's worth. If your team's going to make the playoffs, if your team's on the cusp of making the playoffs, or if you just missed the playoffs. We want to talk about your coaching, your players. This is your chance to speak about your team. So tonight, yes, is the premiere episode. So let's hit the chat. Let's see who's here. So right away, we have Robert Pena's in the house with us. We have Sacktown Mike is in the house. And we have Jack Gustaf in the house. What's going on, my guys? Kenneth, what's up, Kenneth? We got Raider Paul in the house. Normally, I would hit the Raiders thing, but again, this is not a Raider theme show. This is more of a NFL type theme type show tonight. So this is a whole different concept from anything that I've done in the past. Let's see. The Texans are on a roll. The only thing that worries me is the O-line. Well, if you want to talk Texans and you're a Texans fan, just say the word. I will drop the link, and you'll be more than welcome to come in, and we'll talk it up. You don't have to get on camera. If you want to just shut your camera off and you want to be on microphone, that's fine. You come on in. I'll take care of the rest for you. No pressure. Sounds like Stevie Wonder. Will from Silver and Black Radio Podcast is in the house. What's up, my guy? Mike Tinley's in the house. What's up, Mike? Israel is in here. What is going on? So how's everybody feeling tonight? The holidays are past. now. That's it. There's no holidays now really to speak of until Memorial Day. So we're in that lull part of the year. So last week of the season coming up. This is it this weekend. Games Saturday and games Sunday. Raiders are on at 4:25. So there's a few games that are going to line up the rest of the playoff picture for the NFL. You've got Carolina and Tampa Bay playing each other. The winner of that wins the division and makes the playoff. The other one's out. You have still the number one seed to be solidified in the AFC, I believe. So there's still playoff spots that need to be filled. So if you're one of those fans out there of one of those teams and you want to talk it up, again, say the word, drop the link. I'll let you come on in, give you your moment to say what you want to say. So anybody that's in the chat now, I know most of the ones in here are Raider fans, but if you're a fan of another team, drop the team that you rep. Who's your team? I want to know who your team is, and then we can go from there. So let's see who else has rolled in here. Oh, my lovely wife is here. Hi, Dawn. Happy New Year. Yes, it is cold. It's very cold. The Northeast has been hit with some cold-ass weather. So. Can't wait to get that BTA this weekend to secure the number one pick. Cold as hell here in New England. Yes, the Seattle and Kansas San Fran game will decide. They're both in the playoffs, but it will decide who ultimately. No, they're both in, right? Is that correct? Shit, now I got to look that up. I don't remember now. That's a good call. Let me see. Playoff picture. NFC. Come on. Let's see. Yeah, they're in. So it's a matter of who wins the division is what it comes down to. That's what it is. So if the 49ers win, they win the division. The Rams are already in. Yeah. So, yeah, the biggest one is the Carolina Tampa Bay. So winner is in, losers out. AFC side, only team that's not eliminated right now is Baltimore or Pittsburgh. Because if Baltimore wins, they take that division, and Pittsburgh's out, I believe. Yeah, Pittsburgh will be out. So, yeah, so those are the three main games right now. So everybody else in the AFC is eliminated except for Baltimore and Pittsburgh. And in the NFC, Carolina and Tampa Bay are the only two that still have to decide at that point what they're going to do. Let's see. How about Ole Miss? What about them? This is called No Huddle. NFL teams. What's up, Frank Weber? What's going on, my guy? Casino and San Fran both in. Yeah, win against NFC. Oh, I guess the first. Correct. You're right. Let's see what we got here. Bronco Jeff. My team is the Broncos full. Yeah, nice try, Hobo. Thanks. I appreciate the $2 super chat, my guy. What's going on? Should I call in since I'm a fan of another team? No, because I know who you are. Daniel Berry's in the house. What's up, my guy? Daniel Berry, what's going on? So I know this is going to take some time for this show to gain some traction and gain fans from other teams. So all I ask is anybody that's in here that's been following me for the last year and a half or so, just spread the word. If you know fans of other teams, tell them that there's a safe space for them to come in if they can want to talk their team. Like, I'm not going to argue with them about their team. This is a chance for them to come in and show their passion. Just like for the last year or so, where I've allowed Raider fans to come in and show their passion for the team and come in on a Friday night and talk about the Raiders. It was that open mic format. This is a little bit different. There's going to be a little bit more structure to this, where I'm not going to be, having 5 or 6 people on here that are Raiders fans, talking. This is going to be more of like a team-specific person coming on, talking their team. I'll ask them questions about their team. The chat can interact with them. So that's the whole premise behind this. So again, I know this is going to take a little bit of time to gain traction, to draw those fans in from the, from not opposing teams, but from the other 31 teams in the league. So I just ask any of my moderators that are in here, if fans are in here from another team and they, if they start saying like, oh, the Raiders suck, just ignore them, because we all agree that we're just awful as a team. The Raiders are not that good, so we can't really argue and say, no, we're great. If they get racial or, real nasty, that's one thing. But for the most part, I want this to be a safe place for them to come in and talk their team and not be afraid to say something. So don't be so quick to just ban people or kick people out. So just keep that in mind as my moderators. Let's see. It's all right, Duncan. I just started. I've only been on for 12 minutes, so perfect time. Nice try, Hobo. I know it's you. This is also a chance to talk about other teams besides your favorite. And that's right. And that's exactly it, Frank. We obviously don't know everything about all the other teams. And if somebody that's a fan of, say, I know you guys aren't going to like this, but if somebody's a fan of the Broncos and they come on screen with me and they start talking about their team, this gives us information and insight into their team and what they think about their team and what they think about the Raiders too, because we're rivals, So this is a chance to, let other people explore or express their opinions about their team. Been a fan of the Texans since the beginning. They were christened as a team on my birthday, September 6, 2000. Oh, nice. They look good this year. I mean, again, you want to come in and talk to your team, just let me know and I'll drop the link in the chat and I'll bring you in. And again, you don't have to be on camera. You can turn your camera off, so all you see is like this, and your microphone would still work, so we can still hear your voice. So if you're up for that, I'm all down for it, man. That's awesome. Let's see who else is here. Someone else just popped in. JP, what's going on, JP? How you doing? Good evening. Welcome to the show. Appreciate everybody here. Let's see. Ladies live homeless fine. No. No, accelerator. No. So again, anybody knows anybody, by all means, share the link to the channel, have them come in, get in the chat. One of the things I just wanted to bring up that, again, this is the first show. So anybody that just got here, this is the first episode for this format that I've switched to on Friday nights to pretty much open it up to more and more fans of other teams. I'm estimating the show will probably last anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours on average on a Friday night. So it's not going to be those marathons that I used to do on Friday nights. There's going to be a little bit more of a structured show where it's not going to go for hours and hours and hours. So right now we're rocking with we got 18 people in the chat. That's not bad for the first night doing a different setup. Because I know the hot talk right now. What does he say here? We got to help you promote this. Simone Raider has connections because he does the AFC West roundtable. Could reach out to him. I mean, I want to build this organically, just by you guys sharing links to let people know that this is an option. The promo stuff that I've done to get the show name out there, the format out there. I don't want this to just be like an AFC West type of show either. I want this to be more of everybody that's able to come on and talk. I do know that Randy N., who's a Broncos fan, said he was going to be on tonight, so I'm kind of hoping he pops in because I will bring him on. If Trippy Soul shows up, he's a Steelers fan. He's got a lot riding on this weekend. That's why I'd like to have him if he pops in tonight. I was kind of hoping he was going to be here. I haven't heard from him. Wanted to have him come on and talk about his Steelers because, again, they're a pivotal game this weekend for them. Playoffs or not, either they're in or they're out. Other fans of other teams. Yeah, I know. I understand that. And that's the whole point of this will take time. I know this isn't going to be an overnight success and is not just going to hit it out of the park for a shot, Please, good judgment when sharing this podcast with Charger fans. Yeah. There's only one Charger fan that I honestly know of, and we're not going to say his name because that's like call him Beetlejuice, and we're not going to do that. So that's not happening. I do have some friends of mine that are fans of other teams that I would like to bring on at some point. I haven't reached out to them. I wanted to kind of open it, see what happens tonight, see who comes in, like who's in the chat, like, you know, kind of just go for it first night, see what happens. So, of course, with everything going on this season with us, this is the Raiders, we all know that Monday's a big deal for us. Actually, Sunday after the game, it could be a big deal. We could know our fate of our coaching staff as early as Sunday afternoon. As early as Sunday afternoon. If not, hopefully by Monday we find out what direction we're going. And then I know a lot of people have been asking me today, especially, you know, who do you want to, you know, who are you looking for in the draft? You know, what pick do you think? And actually, a couple of people I actually answered. I said, talk to me after we make the decision on Pete Carroll, because as long as Pete Carroll's here, I don't feel comfortable with giving him a rookie quarterback because he's got limited time here. He's only got 2 more years guaranteed on his contract, and that's not something that I look for as an advantage to bring in a rookie quarterback. I just don't see it. He's already said himself before the season started, I'm not here to develop players, I'm here to win. Well, we all saw how season 1 with him went, and that winning side of things didn't go anywhere. 2 wins. We regressed overall as a team from last year when we had 4 wins. So we regressed by 2 wins, and the playability of our players in the field was horrible. So I can't honestly sit here and say, yes, I want Mendoza. Not if he's here. If we replace him with a young offensive-minded head coach, like say Clint Kubiak, I'm all for it. Then go for Mendoza, but you better make sure on free agency you pick up that offensive line. Let's see. Ian Thomas, support a good host with a good platform. I appreciate that. Again, anybody that's in the chat that's not a Raiders fan, shout out who you support. Who's your team? I want to know who your team is. I know Kenneth is a Texans fan because he's already said that. He said that right from the get-go, so I appreciate that. So now I know Kenneth is a Texans guy. I can relate to you Raider fans because I have had people tease me for being a Texas fan, but I keep believing. And that's what you got to do. If you're a fan of a team, you can't be a fair weather fan. You know, we've had Raider fans that said, well, I'm done with them. And some fans have moved on from the Raiders. Well, that's fine. You can move on. But when the time comes when we start getting better again and start turning into something, don't come crawling back and jumping on the bandwagon because there's going to be no room. We're going to boot you off. You know, you stick through the good times. You stick through the bad times, too. Look at me. I've been a fan since 1975. So I've been around the block. I've seen the really good years. I've witnessed all 3 Super Bowls that we've won. I've seen us lose Super Bowls. I've seen us have some good years, even though we didn't make it to the Super Bowl. But I've also been around for the last 20 where it's been just awful. We've had 1 good or maybe 2 good seasons in the last 20-something years. So you got to take the good with the bad, you know. Plus, Kenneth, your team is still considered a young team, like new to the league. So you've got time. You've got something this year. The Texans look legit, even though we almost beat you guys a few weeks ago, which still boggles my mind how we almost didn't. We almost won that game. Take that pick 6 away, we win that game. And that's Gino's fault right there. That's all Gino. What's up? I'm not bueno. How you doing, brother? Yes, Texans fans exist. There's a few that I know of. So, yeah, that's why I can't sit here and come right out and say that's who I think we should take. But here's the other thing. If for some reason we don't solidify the number 1 draft pick, but yet we still make a coach change, and now everybody's like, all right, this is the guy that we want as the coach. This is the guy that we want to take us into the future with Mendoza as our quarterback. What still scares me is the fact that if we don't solidify that number 1, it may not happen. It may or may not happen. Meaning Jets have a lot of draft equity that they can move up to that number one spot. And if they so desire that they think Mendoza's the guy for them, granted, they still need to figure oh no, they got a head coach. That's right. I'm thinking the Giants, my bad. But the Jets have the ability to move up. They could take that number one pick if they offer the right thing to the Giants. If it's the Giants that end up with the number one. Because the Giants have had a quarterback with Jackson Dott. Then they're not going to be looking for a quarterback. So if they're willing to move back a couple of spots and gain some equity from the Jets, very well can happen. And then there goes that. Now we got to either make a different choice for a player or we got to draft a different quarterback. So there's so much involved in this. And then it comes down to, is Mendoza the guy for whoever we bring in as the head coach? That's the other thing you got to look at. It's not, you can't just sit here and say, we got to take Mendoza because he's the number one overall, but you got to think about who's going to be the play caller, who's going to be the head coach, who's going to be offensive coordinator, who's going to have the impact on this kid. Because let's face it, if it's Pete Carroll, last thing we want is that, because you're just going to kill this kid's confidence. Because if they do rush him out there and they do stop playing him right away, if they don't address the offensive line, we're bound for a repeat of 2025 in 2026. And I don't want that. I don't think anybody wants that. Let me catch up here. What's up, Brandon? How you doing, brother? Kenneth says, amen. I remember one of my favorite Texans game was the first play of game they had against Cincinnati. I mean, they did it right a couple years ago when they drafted C.J. Stroud, and then they drafted what's his name, the defensive. My God, why am I drawing a blank on his name? They were just at the right point where they had the right picks and the right timing in the draft to do what they did, and they did it. Yeah, Happy New Year to you too, also, Brandon. Yes, Happy New Year to everybody that's in the chat. If I haven't seen you yet, I was on New Year's Eve. I was on with Jay, Just Raiders Baby, and I was on with Will for a New Year's Eve special, basically. But I haven't been on since, so this was the first time I've been back on since New Year's Eve. What's up, Neil? What's up, my brother? Coach change, definitely. I hope so, but we still got to look at what if we don't change coaches? That's the problem. I wonder if Jets keep Aaron Glenn. I can't see them getting rid of him. You're going to dump him after 1 year. I mean, not for nothing. I mean, they gave away two of the top defensive players on that team. Quarterback issue from the get-go for them. The team's just, they didn't have much to work with to begin with. So I can't see them firing him after year one. No, I just don't see it. Still a Raiders fan, been with them since the snake, and it's time to make some better decisions on a lot of things. I think they should go after the Vikings defensive coordinator to be head coach. See, I want an offensive-minded head coach for the Raiders, especially if if we end up drafting a quarterback. I want that to be a young offensive coordinator that becomes the head coach. That's what I'd rather have. I would love anybody from the McVay tree or even the Shanahan tree. I'm fine with that. Yeah, Will Anderson, that's the one. Thank you. Happy New Year. What's up, Dante? Coaches come and go. Draft Mendoza, build the O-line through free agency. Even if Pete is there for another year, don't pass this kid up. Not if Pete's here. I just don't see it. It's just not going to work. Am I bad fan for wanting to keep Carroll and letting Gino get us another early round pick? Do you want a repeat of this shit? Do you want to sit through another year of what we just sat through? That's horrible. Horrible. I can't do it. What's up, Tyler? Obviously, you're a Chiefs fan. I appreciate you for the subscribe and the like. I appreciate that. Again, this is a chance for anybody that's a fan of the other 31 teams in the NFL. If you want to come on, just say the word in the chat. I'll drop the link. I'll bring you on. You have your voice. You want to talk about your team, more than welcome. It's a safe space. I'm not going to argue with you. There's going to be no wild rants and I'm not going to be screaming. It's just your chance to rep your team and to speak your team. You know, the good, the bad, whatever it may be. You know, I want to hear from the fans. I want to hear from fans of other teams now. This is the whole reason for me changing this format on Friday nights to this, to, you know, build a different type of um, fan base, like, you know, one where there's multiple fans of different teams in the chat talking about their respective teams, and you get input from other fans of other teams. Like, you know, there'll be a majority Raiders in this chat, but as time goes on, hopefully it builds up to where we have more of an equal type feeling on this, where there's multiple teams in here at the same time talking about their team, you know. Let's see. Look at the Seahawks now. Yeah, Seahawks, again, they made the right moves, you know, getting rid of him, obviously, or, you know, moving on from him. I mean, it was the right choice for them, but it wasn't the right choice for us to bring him in here, unfortunately. But I'm not a bad fan at all, because reality says we'll be in the top 5 next year as well anyway. It's possible. Did you hear Troy Aikman is working with Miami for them getting a new GM? I heard that rumor. I saw, was it on a show last night? Somebody said it. I saw it in a chat. They were talking about him possibly being a GM. I think it was Miami. It definitely won't be Dallas, because as long as Jerry Jones is there. Thanks, Bill. At least we will have our expectations set. What's up, Bill? Welcome in, man. How you doing? Let's see. Don't be negative, Leo. Knock it off. What's up, man? Hey, good show with you and 805 tonight. That was good, man. Those were some good takes on shit. I like that. What's up, Dave? What's going on, man? Anybody that saw the opening video, this is the guy right here, Dave. He's the one that put the video together for me. I did the song, sent him the song. He's the one that pulled all the clips and everything and put them in the layout that he did. So awesome job. I appreciate that, Dave. Did a killer job with it. I absolutely love it. So it's a great opening video. And this is going to be obviously the closing one too. So if you missed it at the beginning, you'll see it at the very end too. I think you should accept Bronco Jeff's call. No, I'm not, because I know it's you. Reality doesn't necessarily say we have to be terrible next year. Look at the Bears and Jags. No, but if we make certain moves, yes. You know, that's different. If we stick with the same crap that we have now, we're going to be in the same situation comes next year. You know, if coaching staff doesn't change, because let's face it, if Pete Carroll's here next year, his kids aren't getting fired. Okay, so that's number one. And that, I think, is probably about 80 to 90% the reason why the offensive line is that bad. It's the coaching from his kid. It's the way that he's handling these guys. Because how did they regress so bad from 2024 season to now? They didn't change. They're the same guys that we had last year. The only addition that we added to the offensive line this year was Kappa prior to the season starting. And the Forsyth, we only brought him in because Colt Miller went down. So the only guy that we brought in was really Kappa. So you mean to tell me because of that one guy coming in, the offensive line was that bad overall, all around? No, it's got to be the coaching and the system that they were running, and it didn't work. You know, how do you two rookie offensive linemen play so well down the line last year when you expect them in a full another off season, you know, between OTAs and everything else going on, mini camps and all that crap, for them to go so far in reverse versus what they did the year before is horrible. You know, it's unacceptable. Let's see, what did Tyler say? I'll be honest with you, maybe next Friday I will join up. And I'm busy now. I'm especially going to write some things on paper. We could talk about different. Excellent. You know, whatever you want to do. So if it's not tonight, whatever, man. At your pace, no problem, man. My second favorite team is the Jags, and then maybe a dark horse in the playoffs. I think the Jaguars could go kind of far in this. Like, who they got? round one if it sets right now. So as it stands right now, so the Jacksonville's number 3 seed. I think there's still a chance that they could jump up to the number 1 seed if both the Broncos and the Patriots lose, I believe was the scenario I saw, if that's still true, which means they could get the first round bye. But if the season went, if they didn't play these games this weekend, right now the Jaguars are the number 3 seed, and they'd be playing at home with the Chargers coming to Jacksonville. A completely winnable game. Jacksonville could easily beat the Chargers, I believe. I don't see. I see the Chargers as a one and done. Typical. It's usually what they are anyway. Let's see. Joseph Parr. So no Raiders fans can come on. Not necessarily. I didn't say no to it. Yeah, let me get through the rest of the chat, and then let me think about that, how I want to do this. Beats and Jags took more than a year to build. Yeah. What's up, Mike Guerrero? What's going on? Whose house? Rams. Let's see. Brandon Johnson and Cohen took 1 year to completely change their franchise. It can be done. It needs to be done. I'm not going to disagree with that. Jeff, my team is a dumpster fire. Yeah. Make sure you guys hit the polls. I got polls on both. They're both the same poll. So on the vertical and on the landscape, I did a poll on asking, which one is your team right now? And he's got 4 different options. So the 4 options were, is your team A, a contender, B, playoff team, but flawed, C, rebuild mode, or D, dumpster fire? There we go, Steelers. Here we go. Yeah, see, Jags can be a scary team. I really feel like they can. We certainly have a good game to watch tomorrow night. There's going to be some good games this weekend. Well, there's somewhat, you know what is, I like it when the games mean something, and it's not to the point where it's like, 2 teams that have, like, say us, for instance, us and the Chiefs. Neither team has anything to play for as far as, like, playoffs or whatever. The only thing that we've got on the line is if we get the number 1 pick or not. So, teams sitting players and such. It's just, it just makes for a watered down football game, Raider. Clint Kubiak is considered for interview head coach for Raiders after first playoffs are over. If Seattle wins and have a bye number 1 seed, we can interview Clint Kubiak. I am all for. I hope we do. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the link in the chat. But here's the thing. Before I hit enter on this, I'm only bringing one person on at a time. I'm not bringing 3, 4, 5 people at a shot. I'm bringing one person on. So whoever comes in first, I will bring on the screen. If you've never been on the show before, ever on a Friday night, you're definitely coming in first. If you've been on the show in the past on a Friday night, I'm not pulling you up first. You're going to have to sit and wait. All right. So here's the link. I'm dropping it now. Then we'll pick a side. They need to show effort. No, they do. If you're a true Raiders fan, you don't want to see them lose. You want to see them win. And, yeah, the number 1 pick would be nice. But in reality, I mean, it is the Chiefs that we are playing. It's not a slouch team. It just so happens that they're 2 starting quarterbacks. Mahomes went out. Then Minshew came in as the starter. He went out. Now they're on their 3rd string. They've got a few guys that are going to be out this weekend. So they've kind of muddied up the water for us a little bit. So, I mean, us sitting Max for the rest of the season kind of evens it out a little bit. Geno being done, but now they're talking about doing a combination of Pickett and AOC 12 as playing at quarterback. So they're going to flip-flop him in there. So this would be the game that we turn around and we just like blow somebody out of the water. And, the game that, we technically don't want to win, but we kind of do, but we kind of don't, is the one where, we go ahead and we fuck it up. Tampa Bay and Panthers for the division. Yeah, for the division and the final playoff spot in the NFC too. So yeah, there's some good games. How awesome is it to know the Chiefs are out and we don't have to suffer with Kelsey and Swifties? Oh, I love every minute of not having to watch them in the playoffs. That's going to be a beautiful thing. If you're watching this from the vertical stream, the link will probably not work. If you move over to the landscape one, the link will definitely work. We're also considering Kingsbury for head coach. Nope, I'm good. He left us. I haven't even heard. Is he really one of the ones that they talk? Because I haven't heard that. I hope not, because I really don't want him either. Jared, if that's true, then not only do we get the first interview, we need to have the only interview. Kubiak doesn't leave without a deal. Well, technically, we got to fire Pete first. So remember that. That's step one. Step one is getting rid of Pete Carroll, because you can't interview anybody unless they're gone. So we got to get rid of Pete Carroll first. Once Pete Carroll's gone, then we're good. So I posted the link. If someone wants to come in, go for it. What are we looking like next year, big dog? Right now, Electric, welcome in, man. It's still too early to say. Like I said, until the season is officially over and we have a decision to make at coaching, what's the team going to do? I really can't, in my own head, I can't put a direction on where I think we should go, because as long as, if Pete Carroll's here, I know the direction I don't want to go. But then all bets are out the window, because he's a wild card. You don't know what the hell he's going to want to do. Is he going to let Spytek do what he needs to do? Is he going to muddy up the waters and get involved in everything, as far as, who they want, as far as in the draft? And, first of all, you got to let Spytek do his job. He's a GM for a reason. The GM has a specific job to do. And if you don't let him do his job, it gets fucked up. So he's there to get the players for the coach to coach, or the coaches to coach. And if we're not letting him do that, and the coach is muddying up the waters and talking to Mark on the side, and which is why you don't want Gruden, because Gruden will just bypass Spytek and go right upstairs to Mark's office, start whispering in his ears like, hey, Spytek wants to do this, but I want to do this to move the team forward. In his mind, he thinks he's moving the team forward. It's shit like that. You got to follow the chain of command here in this case. The GM is the guy that gets you the players. He works with the scouting team. They give him suggestions on who's the one to look for, what's the best for what they want to do. You got to let him make the decisions. So everything for next year right now, as far as I'm concerned, is up in the air until after Sunday's game. After Sunday's game, and then they start talking about what they're going to do with the coaching. If he comes out and gives a press conference, I can't even sit here and say, well, he'll be back, because we thought the same thing about AP last year when AP came out and gave his press conference, and a couple of days later he gets shit canned. So it's like, so that is a tough question to answer. I'm going to be disappointed if we don't get Mendoza for quarterback. What's up, True Raider? What's going on, man? See, I think with the whole Mendoza thing, that there's do's and don'ts to get him, is how I'm looking at it. And it's not because of the kid himself and his ability. It's the staff that worries me the most. That's what does it for me. That's why it's tough for me to sit here right now, as is, to sit here and say, Mendoza's our guy. Not if Pete's going to be here. Sorry. Let's face it. If Pete stays, we still have to hire an offensive coordinator, because we don't have one right now. We've got Patrick Graham. Not Patrick Graham. We've got Olsen filling in right now as the offensive coordinator. So we still have to, at the worst case scenario, best case scenario, we only have to hire an offensive coordinator. But who? All right. So who's going to want to come here and be an offensive coordinator under Pete Carroll? You ain't going to get a guy like Kubiak to come here and be an offensive coordinator. The only way you're getting Kubiak is if we have the number one draft pick and he's brought in as the head coach. It's the only way you're getting him. You're not going to get any of these shiny offensive coordinators to come over to this team as long as Pete Carroll's here. So we're going to get bottom of the barrel offensive coordinator, or we're going to take a chance on a college offensive coordinator that everybody thinks that needs to step up into the NFL and make that leap. And we saw how well that worked with Chip Kelly this past season. And some people were really excited about Chip Kelly, Leo being one of them. You know, and I kind of was on that path too, because I knew what he could do. But he also had a lot of negatives too with the way he treats players. That was the other big issue, you know. Give me 1 second here. I do have somebody backstage doing a good job now. Thanks, I appreciate that. Let's see. You think we keep Crosby? We're probably going to keep him, but I'm sorry if teams come calling and they have a great offer. You got to kind of listen. You got to weigh all the options here. You got to think for the future going forward. You know, it's not so much. You got to look at what he's done while he's been here. Okay, he's always been that guy, that tenacity that wants to play. But you got to look at the big picture. You want to move forward and build this team going forward. Is he the answer to stay here? I don't know. So we have JP. All right, so I will bring you on. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm on single setup.
If I can figure out how to turn my camera on. I don't think my camera's working. Let me see.
If Pete stays, Mendoza just stay in school, man, and wait another season. See, that's what I'm saying.
Not sure if this is working.
If it's not, that's not a problem. Like I said, if people don't want to be on camera, that's fine too. I don't have a problem. As long as I can hear your voice and the chat can hear your voice, we're good, man. So what's up, man? What's up?
Well, obviously I'm a Raider fan, so and I've come on your show quite a few times, made some comments. I'm with you on the firing of Pete Carroll. I however, kind of on the fence when it comes to drafting a quarterback, you know, number 1 overall. I do think that the Raiders need to. I went to watch the game yesterday with my family. I did like Mendoza. I'm just we just have, and you brought this up, we have so many holes on this roster. You know, between the offensive line, the defense, I think it would be real tough. But also at the same time, when is the next time we're going to be able to have a chance to draft a quarterback this high? So, and you know, we've made bad selections in the past. This is the last 5 to 6 years why this roster's so bad. It's not just Pete Carroll's fault. Pete Carroll's really taken the blunt. Did AP last year and Josh McDaniels, to be fair. I mean, this has been I think we're about the same age. You know, it's the last 20 years has been rough. And if you look at the draft, you know, the draft by the Raiders over the last couple of years, it's been awful. I mean, it's really hard to find anybody.
Well, and that's, you know, and that's the one thing that will help bring somebody in now too, is if we do solidify the number 1 pick and they know that they have, obviously they can take whoever they want as long as that person, you know, whoever the head coach is in Spytech, if they're both on the same page, which is why it's very important that it's Spytech that handles hiring the coach and not Mark. It has to be Spytech's decision. And if it's his decision, you know, he's going to go with somebody that he knows he can work with to progress the team instead of holding them back and not worried about if this guy's going to go around him and go right to Mark. And, you know, so it's going to be somebody that they're both on the same page and pushing this team into the right direction. And also having the number 1 pick is a huge thing, because right away they're both going to, because, you know, part of the interview is going to be, all right, we got the number 1 pick. I'm interviewing you as the head coach. What is your thought process on what you want to you want to contribute to that first pick? Where do you want to see us go and grab with that number one? And if him and the coach are both on the agreement that I can build a hell of an offense around Mendoza doing X, Y, and Z, and they both converge on this and they're okay with it, then all right, then that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be what it's been in the past where the head coach is muddling too much into bullshit and not listening to the GMs. Because you remember, Raider fans are going to realize a GM is still fairly a new concept to this team. Because until Al Davis passed away, we didn't have a GM. Al Davis was the GM. So we're still in our infancy when it comes to GMs. We've never had one really stick around for any great length of time that got a chance to really put a good stamp on this team to progress for the future. And if we keep firing GMs, that ain't going to help either. So I don't know, man. I can't wait till Sunday's over. As much as I hate saying it, because it's been a long season, man. It's been a long season. But we got to see what happens with we lost him. We got to see what happens with the coach, with the coaching at this point. I just realized he disappeared off the screen. Let's see. Would the fans be more mad at drafting an OT instead of a QB? The majority of the fan base would be. I'd be happy as a pig in shit, but not at number one. Absolutely not at number one. If we're gonna go anything other than the quarterback position, then I'm trading out of that spot and move back a little bit in the draft. Because to take an offensive lineman at number one, I think would be the wrong move, especially if we can get something of value for that number one pick and help add more picks to this draft and build more. Because there's some talented plays coming out of this draft. There's no two ways about it. That's what I would rather do. If a team offered 2 first-round picks for Crosby, the Raiders would be crazy not to take that. Absolutely. I don't care if it's the Jets have multiple first-round picks. I think they got 3. But if we got a first rounder this year and a first rounder next year, oh, hell yeah. And don't forget, with us having the number one pick, we get the first pick every single round. So we get 2 picks. As of right now, we've got 2 picks in the first 33 plays in this draft. So I feel that Dennis, but can they actually rebuild, or are they going to mess it up and be a waste? You know what? I didn't want to have to wear my glasses tonight, but I'm going to have to. My eyes have been bothering me a lot lately. Oh, I can see the words now. Wow. Let's see. Marcus Banks, what's up, my guy? How we doing, brother? Let's see. Ruggs up for parole this year. Ruggs ain't getting out. They put him back. He went back in. He was acting in a halfway house. He screwed up. They pushed him back. He's back in regular jail again, I believe. Don't take the trade. We want Max. Who wants Max? You must not draft O-line in round 1 in the top 2. Exactly. Never, ever, unless you are a spotless Super Bowl team looking to repeat. Yeah, we're not in that. Yeah. And that's why I said if we're sticking with the number 1 pick and we're not going to draft a Mendoza, then I'm not taking an offensive lineman with the first pick. Hell no. Absolutely not. I would definitely trade back. I would not trade. I would trade Max if Jets offer me the 18th pick of 06, the first of 27, and pick because Jets will be asked. Oh yeah, definitely. Well, don't forget the first round pick that they have an extra first round pick next year too, and it's the Cowboys one. That's the one they're going to give up. They're not going to give up their own first rounder next year. They're going to give up that Cowboys pick, and that Cowboys pick would be the middle of the pack in that first round more than likely. Unless we pray to God, to the football gods, that they absolutely suck. You can get more picks by trading down Raiders do have pieces, but need more line help. A young QB is not the answer. Maybe they'll get Flacco. Yeah, that came up the other night too. I think it was it Tuesday night show that came up. Oh yeah, it did come up Tuesday night because James and his infinite wisdom of talking about the free agent QBs that are available for us, and he read the list, and I warned him before I read the list. I said, don't read the list because it's a horrible list of free agent quarterbacks that are available going into next year. And he proceeded to read the list. And the free agents are absolutely god awful. I don't even want to read them out loud. Flacco was one of the ones that he mentioned too, and I'm like, nah. Having the first pick in each round is the most intriguing thing. Finally, an advantage. Yeah, if we can use it right. Dudes think the draft will help us. We've had good draft position nearly every year since so far. It hasn't helped. And that's the other thing. This is the one thing. Sorry, I jumped off the roof again. Excuse me. This is the other thing that Raider fans have to get over. That kind of actually it gets me a little pissed off in a way. When they sit there and say, well, we've never been good at drafting with first round picks, or, we've never been good with rookie QBs, or we've never been good with this. You got to get off of that, man. I know I've said it about how we can never stop a tight end, but that's a legit thing too. I mean, that happens every year. But you got to give current regimes a chance to prove their worth. If we're going to keep Spy Tech, which we should, I don't think we should be getting rid of Spy Tech. Coaches, hell yeah, I want every single coach gone. But if you don't give these guys a chance to see what they can do, and we're so quick to get rid of people right away, and the fan base has a lot to do with it, because as soon as you don't like something that coach did, or the GM, whatever, everybody's like, fire him, fire him, fire him. His draft picks were horrible. You got to give some draft picks a chance, man. Did we reach on Betch? Oh, hell yeah. That was a bad pick. Thornton, fourth rounder. We probably could have gotten him way later, to be honest with you. The offensive lineman, I'm glad they addressed it, but we should have addressed it sooner. We could have gotten some much better talent to the point where they probably would have been starting sooner in the season, if not right from the get-go. So you just got to give guys. You got to give people in the front office a chance to do something before you sit there and right away just shut things down and say, we've always been bad at this, we've always been bad at that. It's also the luck of the draw too. You remember, man, there's a lot of times it's not just us. Look around the league. There's first round picks that don't pan out for other teams too. Other teams have busts, but we're so focused on us that we got blinders on. We don't realize that other teams have had issues in the past with not being able to draft right, or bad picks. So it happens all over. It just so happens that we focus on us because we're Raider fans. You back? I didn't realize you cut out at first. I was like, oh shit.
I finally figured out. I'm a boomer, so I'm not as savvy as you are on this YouTube, but apparently I needed to download.
You're a boomer. How old are you?
I'm 55.
The same age as me.
That's what I mean. I joke
We're
around.
not boomers. We're Gen X.
Well,
we're part of the feral generation. Remember that.
Oh, no, I know. But when I'm operating YouTube, I feel like a boomer because I didn't know what was wrong with my camera. It's because I needed Google Chrome. So I got you, man. And the Dunkin' Donuts, I feel you. That's an East Coast thing. I lived in upstate New York for a while, up there in Buffalo. But I agree with you on everything, especially I think the thing that separates us now is I'm not worried about Pete Carroll, whether he stays or whether he goes. The Spytek's in charge, and before it seemed like the coaches were always in charge when it came to drafting, and I think Gruden, Josh McDaniels.
a lot of our coaches came in and dictated the GMs, hey, this is who we need to draft. Well, we don't need to get him. And I think we have the Raiders have a plan, and I could be wrong, but I think Spytek is now in the driver's seat as opposed to the coaches in the driver's seat. Because if you're a coach, think about it. If you only have 1 or 2 years, especially a lot of these new coaches, they know if you go to the Raiders, you got 1 or 2 years. You're not trying to draft a rookie quarterback. You're looking at, I need somebody to win now. And I think that's what the problem with Pete Carroll is. He was like, hey, I can win with Geno now. Because if I don't win now, who's going to wait 3 or 4 years for you to develop a quarterback or develop a team? He needed to win now. Mm-hmm. And I think when if you're not in the organization, I think Spytek to defend him and Pete Carroll, they didn't know how bad this offensive line was. I think a lot of us fans, we saw it, but I don't think even we as fans thought that the offensive line was going to be this bad. This is an atrocious, probably one of the worst offensive lines.
Like last year, I had issues early in the season with how bad the O-line was playing. But then it's funny because as soon as Getsy was gone and Philbin took over the offensive line, and we had the Turner father and son duo handling the OC spots, things started to change. Like the offensive line played better. JPJ was put where he was put. Glaze was playing a lot better. And I think a lot of that obviously was Philbin going in there and coaching up that offensive line. He did a hell of a job towards, for the second part of the season when he took over, which gave me, a guy that loves the offensive line, gave me hope looking into this season, the 2025 season, that, hey, our offensive line's not going to be that bad. I still wasn't in favor of Genty because of the O-line. I thought we needed a much better O-line. We still needed to fill some holes, like, the Parham and Meredith and shit like that.
Yeah.
And we didn't do it. We brought in Capper in free agency. That was a bust. I mean, as soon as I saw the name and I saw that, he's the worst rated guard in the NFL out of everybody in the league last season, and that's what we brought in. Okay, great. That's why I wasn't big on Genty, because I knew we weren't going to get the best out of Genty based on the line. I didn't think the offensive line was going to be this bad. That first preseason game told me everything I needed to know on how bad we were going to be this season. And you can ask Leo. Our first show after that on The Connection on Wednesday night, after that preseason game, coupled with Pete Carroll's press conference when he was asked about the offensive line, sealed it for me on how bad we were going to be on the offensive line. And I said it that night, and I've been saying it since, and I've been right the whole exact time. This is the one time that I actually been right from the start, right to the very last game of the season. That O-line has been complete garbage. We've looked okay in some cases, but not enough to sit there and make me say, oh, we got it. We're good now. We've got our starting 5. That's going to be the solid. No, because in the following week, the same 5 were even worse, So it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
So we need no effort during the before the trade deadline to try and bring anybody in to try and salvage something. Do something. Just like one of the thumbnails I did for one of the shows this past season was the guy with the stick poking the offensive line. Like, do something. It's like the whole team, do something. Just poke the shield. Do something.
I really think they're doing a whole reset on this team. I mean, they got rid of Chip Kelly, and nothing's really changed. And I'm not a big Chip Kelly fan or anything like that, but I mean, you're 100% right. The offensive line, bringing in Kappa. I mean, God, I don't even want to watch the center. I mean, if you watch any of the plays, he gets pushed back he looks like a 5-year-old out there. I mean, he just gets pushed back and pushed back, and it's hard to watch a game, man. I have to do the walk of shame at it. You know what I mean? It's been a rough year, and I get it, but I also think that I do believe that Spytek and them have a game plan, and I do believe that they're gonna hopefully execute. I get if they do draft Mendoza. I mean, you don't know who's going to come out next year. I mean, I get it. That kid, that Manning kid. I mean, he runs a lot. That kind of worries me. He doesn't throw a lot. He runs a lot, and in the NFL, you don't last that long. I think
No.
Mendoza, he could sit in the pocket. He'll
Look at Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's a perfect example of that. How many complete seasons has he played since he's been in the league?
and it's only going to get worse. We know
Yeah.
that.
Well, he's getting older. He already hasn't run as much as he has this past season when he did play. Here's the thing with Lamar Jackson, and this is a perfect example because I saw somebody today in a Facebook post said, "Oh, we should trade for Lamar Jackson." Why? What? They're like, "Oh, he's a 2-time MVP, 4-time Pro Bowl." Throw the Pro Bowl crap out because the Pro Bowl doesn't mean nothing anymore. It hasn't in years. Okay, you want to talk All Pro? That's different. Pro Bowl is a popularity contest voted on by the fans. Okay, All Pro is voted on by their peers. Okay, I respect that one more than I do the fan one because again, that's just a popularity contest. All right, you've got guys that are injured that still win that, become Pro Bowlers, and it's a joke.
Okay, right.
But what good is Lamar when, he plays great for you throughout the season. All of a sudden, 3 games before the season, the last game of the season, he's out when you're shooting for a playoff or you've already got the playoffs locked up. But he gets injured. Now he's out, won't even probably play in the preseason, postseason. Now what do? Now you're going in with a backup again into the postseason. And then you wonder why you're one and done in the playoffs because you when you need him the most, you don't have him. You don't need him at the start of the season. You can hobble through most of the season. When you need your star player the most is when you're at the tail end of the season, vying for a playoff spot or in the playoffs. If he's sitting on the bench injured during the playoffs, what good is he?
Yeah,
and that's just what happens with him.
Yeah, and if you're exactly right. And then even when he was healthy, I mean, in the playoffs, good NFL teams shut him down.
Yep.
They limited. I mean, we watched Kansas City shut down the Ravens multiple times.
And the Bills.
Yeah, and the Bills. I mean, we'll see what happens now. I'm just glad Kansas City's knocked out.
It's a great thing, isn't it?
Hey, no offense to some Kansas City fans in here. I get it, Jeff. You're trying to bring in some new people, new blood. But I think a lot of people are tired of watching them, and we'll just keep it at that.
Yeah, it gets old fast, man. It really does. Well, just like people were tired of the Buffalo Bills in the '90s when they went to 4 straight Super Bowls. That with them, though, that was by the time their 5th year rolled around, they were just so. You lived up there during that time, right?
Yeah. So, look, no. After they had lost all the Super Bowls, this was in the early 2000s. So 2007,
right.
Yeah. So they had already.
Well, people forget, and people are like, well, they were just worn out. But yeah, they were worn out because think about it. In 4 years, they went to 4 Super Bowls. That's 4 years worth of playoffs. If you look at, and I told it up one day, if you look at the number of playoff games that they played in that 4-year time span, that added up to another whole season. So in 4 years, they played 5 entire games worth of seasons. So they played 5 seasons worth of football in 4 years. That's a lot of wear and tear. Every year they're playing X amount of games beyond the regular season. Add on the Super Bowl to that, 4 years in a row. So by year 5, these guys were spent. Their best shot to win it was the first year they were in it. After that, you could see the difference in the team and how they were regressing. Different mistakes would happen.
And it was a different NFL back then. I mean, the Cowboys, the Niners, they were able to keep a lot of their players. They didn't have the cap restrictions that you do today. I mean, it's a different era.
You're right, Ben.
Kansas City. Denver is gonna. Hopefully, Denver gets knocked out early.
Yeah, it would be nice. I want to, you know what? In all honesty, I want to see Denver lose this weekend. Obviously, I want to see the Patriots lose because living in New England, I absolutely hate the Patriots. And I want to see Jacksonville win because I want to see Jacksonville jump up to the number 1 spot. And good for Jacoby Myers, man. I'm psyched for the guy. I really am because he went from a complete horrible situation here in Vegas with the Raiders to a team that's winning the division hands down, gonna possibly could compete for the number 1 seed, and I think they're gonna go a little bit deeper into the playoffs than a lot of people think. So good for him, and he got the contract. So God bless him. I always liked him.
Yeah,
I liked it when we got him because I knew what we were getting. I knew what we were getting because of his time here in New England. I got to see that. So I was confident that we were going to have that complimentary receiver opposite of Devontae. Just didn't know Devontae was going to go so diva-ish and just puke all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. That aside, I think, over the next 3 years, anyways, I think it's going to take the Raiders, to be honest, 3 good solid years to really build this roster. It's really depleted. There's nothing. I mean, you have Max on the other side, and he's given his heart and soul to this team, and he's really spinning his wheels. I mean, it's kind of like, he's spinning his wheels. He's going 100 miles an hour, doing Max things, spinning his wheels, and everybody else on that team is just on that defense side of the ball. It's just really not helping him out. And I think Malcolm Kuntz is still struggling from his injury, and he really hasn't, picked it up yet. But it sounds like he's slowly starting to pick it up. Last week he was playing a little bit better. But let me ask you a question, and this is something maybe even people on the chat may be able to answer. If you had your pick, who would you like to see lose? And you could only have one of them, Denver or the Chargers in the playoffs. Who would you like to see in the first round be out?
Denver. No, San Diego. Chargers.
I want to see Denver out. I want to see Denver out.
Because I think the Broncos will do it to themselves, but I think the Chargers just don't have it. I don't think they can compete. I don't think the Chargers have the team. They just don't. Randy, I see you, brother. Randy, if you want to come in, I'll drop the link again. If you want to come on and talk your Broncos, by all means, I'll be more than happy to have you come on here. So that's what the whole premise of this show on Friday nights is again, to bring in fans from other teams in the NFL, not just Raiders fans. So kind of opening this up to anybody and everybody, but it's just going to be one person at a time on the screen. I'm not going to have a screen filled like we used to on Friday night mic drops. That I'm done with that. After a year of doing that, it was a little too much sometimes. Maybe in an hour, dude. I'm only going to be on for 2 hours doing this show on Friday nights. So
I get it. Yeah, whenever you need to drop me off, let me know.
Drop the talent, yeah. Sorry, Randy. I know you're a little grumpy because I didn't shout you out right away. He's been in the chat for a long time on Friday nights with Chris and I. He's actually been on with us on Friday nights way earlier in this last year. Ben, I hate San Fran and Denver. Yeah, see, like I know a lot of people have, anybody that's a Oakland original or from Oakland. I get the despisement of the 49ers. I get it. That's like when people ask me who do you despise the most in the NFL, and they expect me to say the 49ers or any one of the other 3 teams in AFC West, but that's not my case. I despise the Patriots more than any other team in the league, even more than the Chiefs, the Broncos, and the Chargers, because living here in New England during their run was enough to just, it was rough. Because the worst part about it, if we weren't the catalyst for them becoming what they became in that time frame, it probably wouldn't hurt as much. But because it was our game in the snow, that stupid tuck rule, and all the crap that went with it, and then all the bullshit that I had to listen to through all those years, that's what just instilled in me my just dislike for that team. and not all fans, because obviously my mother's a Patriots fan, so that's fine. But it's all the obnoxious ones that came out of the woodwork that weren't fans of the Patriots before, and as soon as Tom Brady left, they all flooded away. They all became Tampa Bay fans. That was the other thing. They followed Tampa. They followed him to Tampa, and now that he's part of the Raiders, I got some of them saying, "Oh yeah, I like the Raiders." No, you don't. No, because I know what you liked beforehand, and I know what you moved on to when he left. And no, I'm not allowing you in. You're out. I just can't do it.
Yeah,
That's the shit that just bugs me, man.
I get it. Well, if you live here, I live here in California, so there's a lot of those 49. That's how it is here. There's a lot of 49er fans that when they're winning, you'll see nothing but Niner fans, not bang bang Niner gang, whatever. But as soon as they start losing, have losing seasons, they disappear. You see it all the time. One thing I'll say about Raider fans is
See, Randy hates the
win
Chargers.
or lose, though you'll see Raider fans wearing Raider gear here, especially here in California. I mean, even this year, as bad as we've been, you always see somebody repping a Raider jersey, a Raider hat, a Raider T-shirt. We rep no matter what, and we're horrible. This has been a bad year. It's been a bad year, Jeff.
I went to Seattle to lose so we can interview Kobe. Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing, too. The sooner Seattle's knocked out of the playoffs, the better for us if Pete's canned. Because the sooner we can interview him and then hire him. Because that's what sucks. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that sucks about some of these coaches that you want to interview is until they're knocked out of the playoffs, or if they have that first round bye. If they have that first round bye, you've got that 1 week where you can talk to them. I think via Zoom only. You can't physically bring them in for an interview. I believe. Don't hold me to it. But then as they go further in the playoffs, you're pushed back, and what ends up happening is, if they make it to the Super Bowl, you're even more screwed now because all these other teams are making these hires as they go along that need coaches. You lose out. You might lose out because meaning if he doesn't want to leave Seattle, which is hopefully what we'll find out right away, if he wants to leave or not. If he has no aspirations of leaving Seattle, but we don't find out until after the Super Bowl's over, if they make the Super Bowl, we already lost out on any other coaches that have been hired that might have been possibly on our list too. So that's the downside.
Hey, I've been meaning to ask you, Jeff. Something that I've been noticing on ESPN, some of these sports channels, even some podcasts, NFL players that have kind of made some comments about Tom Brady. He needs to either be all the way in or all the way out. Have you seen some of that?
Yeah, and I agree. I agree with the 100%. Because with him being in his position with Fox, he's limited to what he can do because he's part owner of an NFL franchise. Doesn't matter that it's the Raiders. It's that way with any team. So, which kind of surprises me about that means Troy Aikman, if he's seriously considering that whole move to be the GM at Miami or whatever if he's going to be part owner or whatever, that means he's giving up his Monday night gig. Or, if he's going to be GM of a team, he has to give up that Monday night gig because he'll never be able to do his GM duties. It's just not going to happen. Can't do that because when you're like in Brady's case, he can't go to certain pregame meetings, like those production meetings and everything. He has to do a lot of stuff by Zoom. Technically, he's not even supposed to be in the locker room at Allegiant, from what I understand. I don't know how the exact breakdown on the rules for it, the NFL rules. But I know his interviews and such that he does for the pregame stuff. There's certain things he can't be privy to, I guess. So yeah, so he's not able to do his fullest job because he's still doing that on the side too. So like if he ends up having to do a Raiders game, he can't go and talk to the other team's players before our game. Like say it's the Chiefs. Say they were doing the Chiefs game this weekend. he can't talk to the players and the coaching staff of the KC team because he's part of one of the Raiders, and they may say something that he can use against them by telling Pete or whatever. So I kind of get that, but he needs to pick one or the other. If he's going to have all this heavy involvement, as they say, that just puts a spotlight on the Raiders from the NFL. Another reason for them to keep an eye on us a little bit more. And I don't like that. We're under the spotlight enough as it is. We don't need any more shit.
It seems like
What's up, Raider News?
Either they're egging him on, they're blaming him. Something that I kind of thought that was interesting was what's coming out next year in the movie theaters.
Oh yeah, the Madden movie. I'm actually kind of excited for it. Just sucks we're gonna wait till Thanksgiving.
And who else is in that movie? Al Davis, right? Who's the only owner to be a head coach?
The only owner? Paul Brown.
Well, Al Davis was a head coach.
Well, yeah, him too. But I thought you said who was the only other.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like not now, but I mean, I'm saying in the past. I kind of find it interesting, and it's something that that kind of crossed my mind, and maybe this is a little conspiracy theory, but how possible do you think it would be?
I see you, Randy.
For Tom Brady to come in and actually be one of the next coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. For him to come in and coach and actually be the head coach of the Raiders.
For who again? I'm sorry.
Talking about Tom Brady actually coming in and being the head coach for the Raiders.
Ew.
How possible, and what do you think about that? Is that something that's, and I'm just, kind of.
No, I get the question. I definitely get the question. I think it's a horrible idea. I hope it doesn't happen.
Do you think that is possible, or do you think that is like way too off? And it's because my only thing is Tom's a pretty competitive guy. How long will it be before he's either at the the Raiders facility every day, or he's on the field and he's the head coach? Because eventually he's going to get tired of kind of almost taking the blame for all these the Raiders' losses. I mean,
no, I get that, but you got to remember he's got no coaching experience whatsoever. He really doesn't.
Yeah.
And everybody gives him a pass on stuff because of who he is and what he's done in the league as a player. Which, all right, out of respect, all right, I get that part of it. I'm never going to ignore that. Yeah, he's the greatest quarterback to play the game. I'm not going to take that away from him, much as it hurts to say. But as a head coach, oh hell no. I can't. I don't even think he thinks he could do that. I think that's probably the one thing he honestly thinks that me, Tom Brady, I cannot do that, as he talks about himself in the third person, which I'm sure he does. I almost put money on it he does.
Yeah, I just it's just something that I kind of thought about because
it's a good take. I get it. I mean, it's funny if you think about it, but I just think that would be so bad. It really would. So,
just curious.
All right, Joe, I do have Randy in the background, in the back studio, so I'm going to bring Randy on. And
hey, I appreciate you bringing me on, Jeff.
No problem, man. I appreciate you coming up, man. That's awesome that you did. I appreciate it.
Let's hope the Raiders can beat the Chiefs and get that number 1 overall pick.
Hell yeah.
I hope. All right, guys.
Later, man. Thanks for coming on. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mr. Randy N. And Randy N, what team are you repping?
It's the Broncos, baby. Broncos all the way.
How you been, man? I haven't had you on in a long time.
Me too. How can I get in to see you? Because all I see is myself. So I have to press the camera here?
Probably. I don't know. You're on your phone?
Yeah, I'm on my phone. Because I can't see you. I just see myself. I have to log in. I thought I signed in.
Well, you're on screen, so you're in, so you got that far.
Anyways, Jeff, I haven't watched many Raider games, but
you consider yourself lucky.
Yeah, because even though the last game, I said, oh, the Raiders probably have a chance against the Giants, but I really don't know if there was a tank there because they looked horrible. Like
Yeah,
Like I don't know if they really
we've been
have
pretty
to.
bad.
Yeah, but how can you? Uh, Let me just talk a bit of the Raiders. But how can Pete Carroll really survive the offseason? If he does, I'll probably give him 2 games. If he goes 0-2, he's done.
I
As
don't
much
think he
as
survives. He can't survive this season. For the sake of the organization moving forward to possibly grow and to turn it around, he's not the guy to turn this team around. I'm sorry. He's not. He's even said it himself. Before the season started, his exact words, and it's proved that he said it, or proof. He said, "I'm not here to develop players. I'm here to win games." Well, how did that winning games go for you? You won 2 games the entire season. So, I mean, you throw that out the window. And you obviously didn't develop jack shit for players. So, you know, so his statement at the beginning of the season is already shot. So, no, he cannot be the guy that takes this team into the future. You know, if he doesn't get fired, he's got 2 years left on his contract. He's guaranteed two more years with a 4th-year option. You
I
know,
mean,
so either way, he's gone in 2 seasons. Do you want that? Let's say he's with your team, right? So say he's the head coach of your team, knowing what you know what they just went through now, and you get the chance to draft your guy that you have now, Bo Nix. Would you want
yeah,
him as your coach for
no,
him
no,
for the next 2 years going forward? You only got him for 2 years, so how's he going to groom or grow a rookie quarterback?
exactly. And the thing is there any rumblings about any rumors about Raiders looking at defensive, offensive coordinators or in the college for coach?
I don't want a college QB, and I mean a college head coach, and I think a lot of people are feeling that same way too. We want somebody that's proven in the NFL. Um, I'm fine with like a Clint Kubiak. Um, LaFleur is another one that's come out. Joe Brady's name's been thrown around. The only way I would look at a defensive minded coach coming in as a head coach would be like a Robert Saleh. And then you pair
Really?
him with a top offensive coordinator and a guy that he can groom to be a really good defensive coordinator or a top defensive coordinator. Because I would still have him kind of handle the DC stuff. But you let the OC guy just take care of the offense. You just don't meddle with it and just let them develop everything. You know?
I
Other
mean,
than that, I want an offensive minded head coach. That's what I want.
exactly, because I think Denver really failed when
What's
they
up,
had
Jack?
Vance Joseph and Vic Fangio as defensive coordinators as being head coach because they were really bad, and I don't see them ever getting a head coaching job again. I mean, Vance Joseph is great defensively. If someone takes him, I really don't think he will do great as an offensive coach. He's not my rah-rah guy.
Yeah. No, I get
And
that. Well, let me
yeah,
ask you this. So you're in here repping your Broncos right now. So what do you think about your team as far as their chances in the playoffs? Be honest.
I
Like,
mean,
I mean, just
I,
don't be like a
I'm,
homer. Like, be
I'm,
honest. Like, do you think they're
I,
gonna go far?
I've been screaming because as much as they've been winning, I mean, uh, I can't pinpoint one play, but Sean Payton, his decision making is bungling me. It's because there's certain points where,
It's
example, I
okay.
forget it was like it was a 35-yard line, and they got the opposing team got a penalty, and he declined it. So instead of a 1st and 20, he left it be 2nd and 10. And then what happened? They scored a touchdown. I mean, it's ridiculous. It wasn't that one play. They did like 6, 7 plays during the whole year. And besides, the Vance Joseph system, a good defensive and all. I haven't checked the numbers, but 3rd and long, Denver sucks. No matter if it's Riley Moss penalties or they end up getting like 3rd and 9 and they get the first down. 3rd and 15, first down. It's just driving me nuts. As much as they got these one score wins, look at it. That all you need is one defeat in the playoffs and you're done. So like the Jacksonville scares me. I'm telling you still, Trey Lance scares me because they made every opposing team look great. Look at Daniel Jones when he played for Indy. When Indy beat us, he had like a great rating. I think it was like 22 for 25 passing. It was crazy. I'm just saying rip out numbers there, but a lot of opposing teams besides Mahomes, who did really garbage this year against the Broncos, they all came. Look at Marcus Mariota. Washington almost beat us with Marcus Mariota. You know, like come on, like and like a game last week when Kansas City had the third stringer, they could have beat us. It's like why we want to move up. As much confidence I have, it's gonna be a steal if we go that far. I mean, I really don't. I'm not very happy with Sean Payton's play calling. I've watched
Well,
them all.
there's some people in the chat that agree with you. One of my guys
I,
that
I don't
made
know if
his
they're
first
Bronco
down.
fans.
Yeah, he
I don't know if
said
they're
he
Bronco.
goes
Yeah.
the Broncos will only go as far as Sean Payton will allow Bo to do his thing.
But yeah, but he has bad play calling. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
saying like like there's teams like Detroit, where that third and 5. Okay, it's the 2 minutes left. He'll go pass it to the tight end, get that first down. Teams like Denver and other teams, was it last week? Was it Cleveland? Cleveland against Pittsburgh. They had the ball first and 10, second and 10, third and 10, run the ball, run the ball, run. There goes Pittsburgh, have the chance, and they almost won. I wanted Pittsburgh to lose, thank God, but Cleveland almost dug their hole because a lot of teams they just play safe. Like do a sweep. All you do is stutter, get that 1 yard to force them to take a timeout. Like some of these decision making, and I look mainly at the Broncos, guys. I'm looking at a lot of these one-score games. You want to be dominant. Maybe not every game, but like they've been so close in every game. They could have lost 3, 4 games. 13,
Yeah.
12-3 would have been exactly probably 9-6. I'm telling you, I just see 3 games, but come on, we stole some, but like, I mean, you should dominate some teams with their third stringer. Casey had their third stringer. Why not beat them by 8? They won by 4 on a last minute play to stop them on fourth down. So like as much as I want them to win, I'll be honestly shocked if they go to Super because I don't want to be embarrassed again.
Someone
Like
else in the chat said Sean Payton's still looking for his next Drew Brees.
oh my God, like it's because I talked to a New Orleans fan and like he freaks out when Sean Payton coaches this and I see it as a Bronx fan in this last 2 years. Like even last year we were close games, we lost, but like bro
Well,
makes I could see,
let
yeah.
me ask you. I want to ask you a question. So, do you think that you guys have only beat bad teams but struggled against really good teams? Because that's a
Both.
question in the chat right now. They said they beat bad teams but struggled against real talented teams.
I mean,
Do you?
we struggled against Washington. Then we struggled against Washington. I mean, and we played tight Philly. We played tight Houston. But like Casey with a third stringer, Marcus Mariota with Washington, it wasn't that great. You struggled against Jason Dart. Jason Dart had a great game for the Giants, but they blew it. I feel that game we deserved because they blew. We mounted a comeback. But to allow other teams to be that close to the last minute, okay, the defense saves you. I just feel like you said, playoffs. All it takes is one loss. No matter if you're first seed overall,
Yep.
you get one last game. You have to play great because Jacksonville scares me, and Buffalo still scares me. I'm telling you, but
Jacksonville. I'm telling you, Jacksonville's a dark horse in all this. I'm kind of favoring more towards Jacksonville in the AFC, to be honest with you.
I mean,
The only thing that would hurt if they get the number 1 seed, they're golden. As long as they don't have to go to New England in the cold or up into Buffalo, if they can avoid going either one of those, I think they're fine. And I think they would avoid the Buffalo thing, so they would still be able to host Buffalo and Jacksonville.
but
But
in
if they have to
reality,
go to New England, and even Denver, because Denver's what's the weather out there right now? You're in cold.
actually, I'm from Canada. I'm a Broncos fan since all the way back in '83 when it always started.
Oh, you're in Canada.
Yeah, but I would love to go as a bucket list to go to Denver see a game, but it's cold up there. But look at Buffalo. Buffalo has those. I'm sure New England has the same thing. They have the fans. If they could shovel their stadium, they get their free seats or something. Like or they
Oh,
get
not
their free
New England.
$1. No, not New
Not New
England.
England. No, New England fans are assholes. They ain't cleaning their own stadium. Hell no. Buffalo fans will, because Buffalo fans are awesome. I'm telling you. My New England fans, oh hell no, they ain't going and cleaning off their own stadium. No, absolutely not. No. They didn't even clean the seats off in Philly. I went to the Philly game and it snowed like a son of a bitch that morning. They didn't clean the seats off, man.
Yeah.
It was everything was covered in snow. The stairs were cleared and they had ice melting shit down. That was fine. but the seats and the way you walk, nah, everything. Didn't have to worry about my water getting cold. It just stuck it right in the snow in the cup holder, and it was nice and cold the whole time. So it was perfect.
Jeff, was Aiden O'Connell the backup for the Raiders this year?
He's been injured most of the season. He was on IR for a good chunk of the season. He just came off IR within the last
When
week
did
or
he
two.
when did he go on IR?
It's gonna be him and Pickett playing quarterback this week, and they're gonna do like a mix up with the two.
I mean, last year I had Brock Bowers on my fantasy, and I thought the Raiders
If you had
competed
Brock
last.
Bowers last year, that was an
Yeah,
awesome year for you for
yeah.
sure.
But like watching the games for Brock Bowers, I saw that the Raiders were competing. This year, I don't see much of it. Brock Bowers in, and Geno
Uh,
Smith just looked horrible. And I'm wondering, Geno Smith might be, and the Raiders might be in the same situation as the Raiders, where they have to buy out, where Denver had to buy out Russell Wilson. Now you're stuck with Geno Smith. You might have to buy him out. I mean, it looks horrible. No? Are you going to be stuck
he
with a
did. I
salary
mean,
cap situation?
see with Gino, it was his bad decision making. His throws were not the best, obviously, based on his number of interceptions. If he didn't get hurt last week and would play this week, he was on pace to have be sacked over 60 times. I think he was on pace for 61 sacks. Okay, so he's taken a beating. He's taken a lot of knockdowns, a lot of sacks. I think he was at 56 or 54
Yeah,
by the end of last week's game. So he's taken a whooping this season. Okay, offensive line's been horrible, so that hasn't helped him. I mean, a lot of times he's handing the ball off to Genty, and a defender's in his face already.
yeah.
So that's how bad our line was, and it's not. I don't think it's all on the talent on the line. It's the coaching. It's so much of the coaching. Granted, some of the talent's really rough. They're light in the ass. They get pushed around.
No, but didn't you get rid of the offensive coordinator this year?
Yeah, halfway through the season, they shit canned him,
Half-
and Greg Olson took over the play calling,
Yeah, yeah.
and we didn't get much better. We got a little bit better, but nothing crazy better. So it just hasn't been a fun year. And everybody had these great aspirations that we were going to have a good year. I mean, some people had us winning 12 games in their predictions. I
Wow.
had us in the 8 to 9 range.
Well, like I thought Geno Smith and like comparison to Sam Darnold, I said they'll probably do the same. They did great where they were. Like Geno did great in Seattle. Sam Darnold
Oh, we
did
looked
great in
great week
Pittsburgh.
1. Everybody thought week 1 we had our savior at quarterback, and that quickly shit the bed starting the following Monday night against
And
the Chargers.
actually, my fantasy was the Bo Nix that started, and I drafted Geno Smith to back up, and I dropped him like 6 weeks after.
It's a horrible decision.
Yeah.
Here's a hint. Until the team really starts winning some serious games, there's only 2 players that I would even trust on the Raiders offense, and that would be Genty as like a third string running back and Bowers as your
Really?
tight end. Other than that, I wouldn't touch anybody on our offense. And Genty would be a fill-in for bye weeks right now.
Yeah.
Seriously,
I,
I couldn't even start him week in and week out because he's only had like 2 tremendous games the entire season that would have helped you in fantasy.
yeah,
That's the downside. Like you guys, you got RJ Harvey. The guy's having a great year. Could have been better, obviously, but he's still having a really good year.
number wise, it's somewhat middling, but I don't like when he does his stutter step, and it's from 1st and 10 it goes to 2nd and 9. So like, we had the other guy who got injured. What's his name? J.K. Dobbins.
Genty does the same thing. He does that jump stop shit. And that's how he gets put in the back.
Yeah, some guys have to pound it for 5 yards. He could be 2nd and 5 and 2nd and 9.
Like Scatterbo, where he just puts his head down and just plows right through like a fucking rhino.
Scatterbo, I would worry about his the way he plays, and he'll be injured. You were talking about Lamar Jackson. I mean, I don't know what Baltimore's going to do, because if they're going to go and stick with Lamar, he hasn't shown his maturity as a postseason guy. Because even certain games this year, when you could see the confidence lacking when he misses a throw, he gets sacked, he throws the INT. Like he has some numbers, but on other games, like he was bad. I mean, he came back recently. I'm wondering they have a better chance with Tyler Huntley against Pittsburgh this week than Lamar. I don't know. We'll
Oh, I
see.
believe that 100%.
But
I completely agree with you on that take.
but I think Aaron Rodgers, he should be done because he looked horrible.
Aaron Rodgers
I don't
should
know
have
what they're doing.
retired when Green Bay didn't want him anymore. That's what he should have done. Should have saved face
Yeah.
and retired then.
I
But
mean, last week's game, I was hoping for Miles Garrett to get the sack record because make it official, it's 16 games. But the thing is, like someone that, like I think Miles Garrett said it too. I think Pittsburgh, the way they played to just double team Miles Garrett to not get the record because it was whether it was T.J. Watt who has the record, they didn't play to win the game. 6 points against Cleveland.
no.
Cleveland have good defense, but 6 points. That's what 2 field goals it was. No, that was ridiculous. The whole game. So like I'm hoping Baltimore to oust them out. And someone had mentioned maybe somewhere where if the Baltimore and Pittsburgh they'll be finishing with a low 9-8 record, whatever. Like they maybe if they fire the coach, maybe Tomlin can go to Baltimore and what's his name, Harbaugh can go to Pittsburgh because like. But I feel worse for probably Tomlin because I think he might get the axe. No, or he might
I
go
think if they
simple with it.
lose, I think if Pittsburgh loses, there's probably a good chance they're probably going to let him go. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes a year off, though. I don't know if I see him coming right back to coaching again right away. He may want a year off just to kind of because man, I'm telling you, you look at some of the schedule that these coaches in the NFL keep. It's insane, especially some of them at some of the ages that they are, like Pete Carroll. These guys are up at the crack of dawn. They're the first
Isn't he
ones to the
77?
facility.
Isn't Carl 76, 77 years old?
74.
Okay.
So these guys are up bright and early. They're usually the first ones at the facility, the last ones to leave. Sometimes they don't even leave. I mean, there's stories of Gruden sleeping in his office instead of going home. Belichick used to do the same thing. I think Pete's even said he's done it in the past. A lot of these coaches do it. That's why they have such big offices with these nice couches. So they just sleep on their couch instead of going home for 3 hours. They just fall asleep there, wake up, and they're already there. So I mean, it's not a healthy environment as a head coach. It really isn't if you think about it, because the sleepless nights, the constantly eating and whatever, so a year off may suit him too, give him like a little recharge of the batteries. I wouldn't be surprised if he sits.
Yeah. But like as I've seen, you
Thanks,
see
Ethan. Happy New Year, brother. I appreciate
almost
you, Ethan.
every MVP that's come in the NFL has been a quarterback. Why? Because they are the star. I mean, sorry to say, but the Raiders, they need a quarterback. They haven't had a good quarterback since when? Since when they won the Super Bowl. Same with Denver. When Peyton left, we struggled 5, 6 quarterbacks in 10 years. Finally, we get Bo Nix, who looks so much just by the way he throws. Not like, what's his name? The guy we had, number 15. His throws were horrible. He looked like a handicap. One time throw when he threw to Rod Smith for the 80-yarder against Pittsburgh. What's his name? The guy from Florida Gators. What's his name? I can't think of his name right now.
Have you ever talked to any other Canadian fans that are Broncos, like Richie Richey?
No, I haven't talked to them. Did they come on your show?
No, he's on another show through Captain Jack. It's called the Wild Wild West Show. I think it's still called that.
I wonder how he's
they're on, I think, Thursday nights. I'm not sure. They're usually on the time that I'm on one of mine during the week, so I don't usually get to watch that one. But they have a representative from each team in our division. So they've got a Raider fan, a Broncos, a Chiefs, and a Chargers. Although here's a funny story about that show. So this past season, the week before the Super Bowl, so they had all four guys there that represented their team. So the guy that was the Chiefs fan, that show before the Super Bowl, he just talked the whole show, wouldn't shut up, wouldn't let anybody else get any words in because his team's in the Super Bowl. Yeah. Well, Super Bowl comes, Chiefs lose. Following week for the show, I wanted to purposely watch it because I wanted to see what he was going to say. Never showed up. He never came. He's never been back since. He's just vanished. Poof. So I'm like, that's hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious.
You,
So
you know,
you
like
lose the Super Bowl and you just don't want to even show your face. You just bail on the show. Like, wow, that's kind of a dick move, but all right.
yeah. Well, that's why, in a way, I'm like happy that KC finished where they are, so that when it comes to the job, they're
What's
in the
up,
middle of
Bale?
the pack. They're in the middle of the pack. They're like probably 15, 16th, right? Because out of the playoffs, they're middle of the pack.
Oh, don't you
It's
love seeing them out of the playoffs? I mean, as a fan
I
of another team in the AFC West, it's got to make you feel good that after 10 years of them winning the division, year in and year out for 10 years to see a different team win it, even if it is the Broncos. But I think I lost Randy. Yeah, I lost him. Only other subscribers been there for years, so probably issues with others. What? Subscribers only. Yeah, my show's on subscriber mode only, not members only. You're in it. I'm seeing what you. I don't get what you mean. The Chargers have fans. Yeah, very few of them. Oh, dude, it's hilarious, Frank. The guy just never showed up again. Still to this day, you haven't seen him. You're definitely not going to see him now that the Chiefs didn't even make the playoffs. Yeah, let's put him backstage for now until his camera could. Yeah, he's gone. Oop. Oop. I'll go this way. Yeah, there we go. That works. Some lame Chiefs. Yeah, it is. Seriously. What's up, Jay? This is my guy, Jay Raider from Just Raiders, baby. Make sure you check out his stuff. Jay's got a show. That's right. We're doing a show tomorrow, aren't we? Damn. Forgot about that. You just mentioned it the other night, too. I got to make sure my ass is up in time. Nah, no worries, Randy. I appreciate you coming on, man. You came on for the inaugural premiere show tonight, so I appreciate that. At least I got one fan of another team in here tonight, which was awesome. That's what I wanted. I was hoping at least one fan from another team was willing to come on and talk their team. So I appreciate that, Randy. And you're welcome back every Friday night if you want to come in, especially leading into the playoffs. So this is going to be fun. This is going to be good. So I appreciate everybody that's been here tonight, hanging out for the last hour and 45 minutes. We've had a steady 30 to 40 in the channels throughout the entire night. So this is awesome. I appreciate everybody being here. I know this is a little bit different format on Friday nights than what it has been. So I appreciate everybody kind of sticking with it and hanging in there. What's up, Elon? What's going on, my guy? Alex is here. What's up, Alex? Chief fans ever calling for Reed to be fired? Oh, I don't know. That would be funny. Let's see. No worries. Let's see. Jets fans are begging us to win. Now, again, Randy, you're more than welcome. Come back in next week. Like I said, I knew this was going to take some time to get this to grow, but it's already started off pretty damn good as far as I'm concerned. It's already been a success tonight. I appreciate this. Thank you, Marcus. I trust me. I appreciate it. Coming from you, that means a lot. I want to get you on as a Titans fan. I was trying to reach out to you the other day. I actually sent a text to Bueno. If he had your number, I wanted to reach out to you. I wanted to get you to come on this show and talk about your Titans. I mean, you've been, everybody knows who you are in Raider Nation that do the YouTube thing. So you've got the utmost respect of every host that I've ever been on with, anybody in the chat. I would love to get you on this show. And you don't have to be on camera if you don't want to be on camera, but I want your voice to your team is what I really want to hear. I want to hear you talk about your team, because you always talk about the Raiders with us, and I appreciate that, and everybody else does too. That you have so much knowledge. You have more knowledge sometimes about the Raiders than some of our own fan base. Okay. And I think a lot of that obviously is from hanging around with us and being in the chat and such. So I put the chat link back up. If someone else wants to come in for the last 15 minutes before the show goes off the air, more than welcome to come in. We'll talk about whatever. We'll talk about the Raiders, talk about another team. If you're a fan of another team, click that link, come on in. And we'll talk about your team too. So just haven't won anything that matters since Broadway Joe. Yeah, which if you notice in the video for the you came in late, so you probably missed it. You'll see it on the outro. There's a little segment of Jets montage in there, and one of the things one of the images in the video is a Jets fan. Oh God, what the hell does it say? I forgot what it says. I think it says something to the effect of "still waiting" or something like that, and it's got 69 as the number on the jersey, which was the last year that they actually did anything. But yeah, it's actually pretty funny. Even some of the Jets fans that are in the video too. My guy Dave did an awesome job putting that thing together. Yeah, so Marcus, man, one day I want your ass on here. I want to get you on screen and get you talking and see what you got to say about your team. And if you want to talk Raiders, we'll talk Raiders too. I don't care. But I put the link up. It's open to anybody. If you want to come in for the last 15 minutes, please come on in. Giants on the game but lost. So we've got, let's see. So to a reminder for everybody, tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. Jay, why don't you come in so we can hype tomorrow? Because I totally forgot the time and everything. I've just been out of it the last couple of days. People on AP because he interviewed for head coach with Giants. Stay away. I don't trust him with QB. I don't know. Raiders drafting defense mostly in the draft after drafting a QB. Again, that's another question that's tough to answer until we know what's going on. I don't know about that, Duncan. I haven't heard that. That's another question that's tough to answer until we know what is going on with the head coach. That's the toughest thing. Do we go offense? Do we go defense? What do we do? I was on live during the game. I didn't actually stream the game because you can't for legal reasons with the NFL and everything. That's why when I stream it, I have to listen to it in my earbud in my right ear so I can at least hear the game, so I can hear what's going on. So instead of muting my TV, I can at least still hear things. Well, we've got Jack Kenna in the house. Let me bring him up this way. Boop. What's up, Jack?
Hey, what's up, Jeff?
What's going on? No, Randy, actually, I'm going to be in Chicopee, Mass with my chapter. I'll be at the watch party on Sunday. The only way I wouldn't go on Sunday and would be here going live is if the weather turns shitty. But right now it's going to be sunny and cold, but no snow or rain.
So do you know where you're the Broncos fan, who's a Canadian guy? So Richie Richey is a Canadian guy. So I was kind of curious, our Raider brother who just passed away this last year, Gord Peterson, he was Canadian. So do you know where he's from? So I can pass it on. Okay.
No idea.
Next time you have him on, ask him. So I haven't seen him in the Broncos channels, So it'd be good to connect them too. It's connect anybody who's a football fan. Have connections. You can do lives together. It's it makes it all fun, right? I hope you doing this with different teams and getting different perspectives.
I like this. I like this a lot. So
and I agree with you.
Just real quick, I'm closing out the polls. So on the vertical poll, this is what the results were for it. So
hey, cool, Kev, my phone is charged, bro. This is a new phone.
So these were the
It's been a new
results.
phone. Hey, what's up, Jaw?
Are you done?
I'm done.
So Dumpster Fire wins with 34%. Rebuild mode is 26%. A, which is a contender, 23%. B got 17%, which was playoff team but flawed. A total of 47 votes on the vertical. So now I'm going to do the
SoCal.
I'm going to do the other one, which is the landscape. There it is.
Yeah, I must have missed that poll. I came in kind of late. I was watching, like, the Bronco buzz. So that's how it's going. Like, I came in from a Bronco show, like, watching your show. And that's like, I saw a Broncos host. So I'm like, that's why I had to ask, like, the MHRT network for him. I've never seen him before. So, and I think I know most of them. Like, you know your enemies, closer, you keep your friends close. What's up, SoCal? So it's like, I've never seen him before. That's why Matt was asking the question. So, Jeff.
So hang on. So this is the landscape version. So the winner was D, Dumpster Fire, 58%. C was 21% with rebuild mode. A was third place with 16% as a contender. And B got 5%, playoff team but flawed, 19 votes there. So there's no way for me to combine them all. I'd have to do the math and all that shit. And that ain't happening.
So here's the inner joke, right now, Jeff. Hey, MG, you're Dodgers. Okay, I got to scratch my eye, bro.
Randy's from Montreal, he said.
I love you, bro, but
all right, so 10 a.m. So that's 1 o'clock my time. All right, so tomorrow morning, make sure you tune in to Just Raiders, baby. It's going to be myself and Raider Alex as the special guest on Jay's show tomorrow.
Ooh, you got Raider
Jay and I
Alex
are
coming
actually.
in?
Jay and I are. He's bringing me on because it's the 1 year anniversary from his first show, and I was his first guest a year ago. So I'll be on with him tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. Eastern time, 10 o'clock Pacific. So make sure you guys tune in. So be there, be square, and don't forget your underwear.
If you guys have not seen Raider Alex, like, his takes are like super. They're so good. I've been watching him for years. He doesn't do a lot of live shows, so please watch that because he is that good. I wish he had his own show.
Okay. They're talking about you. Jack usually shows up with 10% left on his phone.
Yeah, that was like
Jay,
3 or
just
4
let you
years
know,
ago.
Jay, I'm getting off right at pretty much 11 o'clock on the dot. So I'm only going to make this like a 2-hour show. Tops, maybe.
Hey, Jeff, that was like a long time ago. So all those guys you heard that from, they're like, old school good dudes. And, that was way back in the day. That's been like 3 or 4 years ago.
Well, when your battery used to die all the time?
Yeah, because my phone got old.
Last year was happening just a few weeks ago before you got your new phone. I've had you on shows on Friday night where the phone shut off on you, or you just froze. You'd be like,
no, seriously not. It's like I do watch a lot of Raider shows, and that, bro.
Just go black.
No, I just cut myself off.
No, good excuse. Nice cover. I just cut myself off.
I just cut myself off, bro. No, this is like a new phone, so it's all good. Cool Cab is like, man, like MG Guerrero. It's like been what 6-7 years that we've been talking to each other in the chats. That's a long time.
The only thing I just want to cover real quick. So tomorrow, Saturday, January 3rd, obviously the info I just gave you about Just Raiders baby show. But in the NFL tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. Eastern time on ABC is Carolina at Tampa Bay. Winner of that wins the NFC South and gets in the playoffs. So that's a big game. It's going to be a good game because they're both playing for something. So that's going to be a slobber knocker. And then at 8:00 tomorrow night is Seattle at San Fran. Okay. I may go live for that one. I don't know. I may go live tomorrow night to watch that game.
Do it.
So there's that game. And then on Sunday, all the other teams are playing. We are on at 4:25 p.m. Kansas City at Las Vegas. As far as games Sunday that matter for playoff spots, Baltimore and Pittsburgh have the Sunday night game. Winner of that wins the division. Loser out of the playoffs. So that's the way to end the season. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, Baltimore looked good against Green Bay. Like, King Henry, like, he rushed like a madman. He had, 3 touchdowns in that game?
I think. I'm not sure. I don't remember now. I don't think there's anything else here that has...
Hey, SoCal. Sacktown. Hope you're doing well, brother. Love you.
Let's see. It's been 6 years with Captain Jack, Cool Kev said.
Yeah, Cool Kev's an old school boy. Hey, I don't look any different than Nab Man right now. It's, being in California, it's cold. It's not like cold like, most of the country, but when you're a pussy Californian, when it gets below 50, you get cold. I'm
Below
sure
50,
Jeff was like
you
making
would
snow
survive
angels in
about-
New England.
You would survive about 5 seconds outside right now. It's like 12 degrees outside here, and that's not taken into consideration with the wind blowing in your face. So let's put it this way: when I go out for a cigarette, I open the slider, and if here's the wall, here's the door, my hand's sticking out like this with the cigarette, flicking it, pull back, blowing it up because I'm not opening the door all the way because it's too goddamn cold out there. And if I'm saying it's cold, damn well you wouldn't last more than a couple of seconds out there. You'd
Right.
be like, this shit.
Right. You and Richie Richey should have a competition. Who can make the longest snow angels like in the snow? You guys are like in all the Northeast.
He's gonna win that one. He's more used to that because it stays colder up there longer than it does around here. I will compete with you during the summer on where it gets hotter and nastier, and that's here versus you out there. Because
I'll take you on. It gets up to like 112 to 117 degrees during the midsummer.
Yeah,
Sacktown knows this.
Sweat? How much do you sweat?
Well, we don't have the humidity like you guys.
Bingo. You step outside when it's hot and humid here, it just take a wet towel or face cloth and put it over your mouth and try and breathe because that's the same way. You just breathe it in. Just the atmosphere is just filled with moisture. It's just like it's horrible. It's horrible.
Jeff in the chat, Randy, is that Randy that was on your show earlier?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Richie Richey.
MHRT
Network, which is the Broncos network.
He doesn't have his own channel though, right?
No, but it's like Richie Richey has his own channel.
I don't even know. I've never subbed to it, so I have no idea. I don't know.
Yeah. So Randy, as you being a Broncos fan, your Broncos network is MHRT Network, and it's like a great show. So it's like Broncos Buzz, and there's the Wild Wild West show, which I'm going to end up kicking myself off, and I'm going to turn it over to Nam Man or Raider Rebel, one of the two. So check out Richie Richey on the MHRT Network. So talk to other Broncos fans.
All right, Jack, I am calling it. I am going to say goodbye to you.
Hey, good night, Jeff.
For a short time. You have a wonderful evening, Jack.
And we can battle all next year on JPJ being a guard or a center. So it'll be fun chat.
He's gonna be a guard.
Yeah, it should be a center unless we get Baltimore Ravens center, then no.
He's still gonna be a guard.
Yeah, I still love you, man. Happy 2026.
Same to you,
Health
brother.
and wealth for everyone in the nation. And hopefully we get our quarterback next year. Good night, nation.
Later, Jack. Alrighty. So, well, with that being said, with Jack gone here, where is this? Let me this. And just the final takes on everything here tonight. All right, cool, Randy. You just joined the MHRT network. Awesome. I just want to say thank you to everybody that was here tonight, that tuned in for the first time. I really appreciate everybody that was here. Chat was very active, which is awesome. So I am very happy with the first episode. Hopefully the next couple of weeks we'll get some other fans in of other teams in the NFL, which would be awesome to, fully see the full vision of what this show is going to be. So just remember, this is No Huddle, and tonight proved why it works. We did have fans of every team. We had real football talk, no filters. And if you missed your shot tonight, every Friday night, 9 p.m., bring your takes, support your team. Again, no timeouts, no excuses. So until next time, everybody, you all have a wonderful evening. Happy New Year to everybody out there. And again, stay safe. We're still going to end with Go Raiders, baby, because it's still Raider Nation.